every little comment, every small setback, if it all gets under your skin, you're giving away your power. The truth is, the most unshakable people don't have fewer problems. They've just mastered how they react. Imagine walking through life unfazed. No more overthinking, no more emotional outbursts, just complete control. In this video, I'll teach you how to train your mind to act as if nothing bothers you, so you stop feeling trapped by your emotions and start owning them instead. Because once you master this skill, nothing and no one will ever have control over you again. 1. Mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. Life is filled with noise, people's opinions, daily frustrations, unexpected setbacks. The world is relentless in its ability to throw distractions, criticisms, and roadblocks in your path. But what if I told you the true strength comes from mastering the art of indifference? Imagine walking through a storm without flinching, without losing your composure. This is what it means to act as if nothing bothers you. The key learning to detach your emotions from external circumstances. When you allow external events to dictate your mood, you become a puppet to forces beyond your control. But when you train your mind to remain unmoved, you become the master of your destiny. The world respects those who remain calm in chaos, who don't crumble under pressure when you embody this mindset. You command authority without saying a word. You move through life with power, with presence, with unshakable confidence. Think of the most influential individuals in history. They were not those who reacted impulsively to every slight, every criticism. Instead, they moved with an air of control, as if they knew something the rest of the world did not. Their strength was not in their ability to argue or fight back, but in their ability to remain unaffected. This is the true power of indifference. Consider the philosophy found in self-mastery and success literature. The most powerful lesson is that thought precedes action. What you think, you become. If you constantly react emotionally to the world, you give away your power. But if you cultivate an unwavering mindset, the world bends to your will. Those who achieve great things in life understand this principle. Control the mind, and you control your reality. Imagine a scenario where someone insults you in public. The natural response for most is anger, retaliation, or self-defense. But what happens when you simply smile and walk away? You rob the instigator of their power. They expected a reaction, and when they don't get it, they are left unsettled. You, on the other hand, walk away stronger, untouched, undefeated. This is the silent dominance that few understand, but all admire. The same applies to failures and setbacks. When faced with rejection or defeat, most people let their emotions take over. They drown in frustration, losing days, weeks, or even years, lamenting over what went wrong. But those who understand the power of indifference see failure is nothing more than data, a learning experience, an adjustment, a stepping stone. They do not internalize failure, observe, adapt, and move forward. How do you cultivate this level of control? It begins with training your mind. Daily practice the habit of pausing before reacting. Ask yourself, does this situation truly affect my long-term goals? Is my reaction necessary? Or am I giving away my power by consistently choosing non-reaction? You build an armor that shields you from the trivialities of life. Another crucial element is visualization. See yourself as someone who moves through life unaffected. Picture a version of yourself who does not flinch at insults, who does not crumble under pressure. When you reinforce this image in your mind, it becomes your reality. The mind is powerful. And what you repeatedly visualize, you become. Let people wonder why you're not rattled. Let them question how you stay composed. Because when you show that nothing bothers you, you control the game. You become an enigma, someone people look up to but can never quite figure out. And in that mystery lies your strength. True power is not about domination or aggression. It is about presence. A presence so strong that it doesn't need to prove itself. A presence that commands respect through silence, through an unshakable state of mind. Master this, and you master life. To stay unshaken, think about the strongest people you know. They don't react impulsively. Don't let emotions dictate their actions. They pause, they assess, they respond with intention. This is not because they lack emotions, but because they have mastered them. Emotional detachment isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about controlling them. Picture this. You're in a heated argument and the other person is trying to provoke you. Do you react? Do you let their words control your emotions? Or do you smile unaffected, knowing their words hold no man? Wait unless you give them power. Emotional detachment is about refusing to hand over your peace to external forces. It's about understanding that your inner world is sacred, untouchable. When you adopt this approach, stress decreases, clarity increases, and life's challenges become mere puzzles to solve, not battles to fight. Think of the principle that thoughts shape reality. What you focus on, you attract. When you allow external events to dictate your state of mind, you become a slave to circumstances. But when you take control of your thoughts and emotions, you become the architect of your own fate. Consider the story of a man who lost everything. His business collapsed, his investments crumbled, and he was left with nothing. Most would drown in despair, but not him. Instead, he saw the failure as a lesson, not a tragedy. He understood that his mind was his greatest asset, and no external loss could take that away. With this mindset, he rebuilt everything stronger than before. This is the power of detachment. When you stop identifying with failures or setbacks, you free yourself to rise above them. A major reason people fail to achieve their goals is emotional turbulence. They let fear, doubt, and frustration control them. They start with ambition, but give up the moment challenges arise. But those who master detachment understand that emotions are just fleeting sensations. They don't allow temporary feelings to derail long-term goals. They persist because they have trained their minds to see obstacles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Training yourself to be emotionally detached does not mean you become cold or indifferent. It means you no longer allow external forces to dictate your internal state. You can experience joy, sadness, and excitement, but you remain in control. Your emotions serve you, not the other way around. To develop this mindset practice, stepping back in emotionally charged situations. The next time someone insults you, pause instead of reacting. Observe your feelings. Ask yourself, does this affect my life in any meaningful way? More often than not, the answer is no. By choosing not to react, you take away their power over you. Detachment also comes from having a clear purpose. When you have a strong vision, petty distractions no longer shake you. Your focus becomes unbreakable because you understand that your energy is too valuable to waste on things that don't serve you. The world belongs to those who master themselves. The more you cultivate emotional control, the more unstoppable you become. While others panic, you remain calm. While others react, you respond. And in doing so, you gain an advantage that few ever will. True strength is not about physical dominance or loud displays of power. It's about having an unshakable presence, one that commands respect without demanding it. When you master the art of emotional detachment, you don't just navigate life, you control it. 3. Mindful indifference is a superpower. We're conditioned to believe we must care about everything, people's opinions, their validation, their judgments. Society teaches us that our worth is measured by how much we invest in the thoughts and expectations of others. But true freedom, it comes when you realize that most things simply don't matter. The next time you find yourself overthinking, ask, will this matter in 5 years? If not, let it go. Most of what troubles us, criticism, temporary setbacks, fleeting embarrassments, becomes insignificant with time. Yet we allow them to consume our thoughts, dictate our emotions, and control our actions. This is why mastering indifference is the key to regaining your power. Indifference doesn't mean apathy. It means prioritization. It means recognizing that your energy is finite and choosing to invest it in what truly deserves your focus. Not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion is worth considering. When you stop reacting to every minor inconvenience, you regain control. You shift from being emotionally reactive to being strategically responsive. And that shift, it changes everything. Think of the people you admire most. So they aren't the ones desperately seeking approval or reacting emotionally to every challenge. They are the ones who stand firm, unshaken by the noise of the world. They know who they are, and because of that, they cannot be easily manipulated or influenced. When you adopt this mindset, something remarkable happens. People start to respect you more, not because you seek their validation, but because they see you as someone who cannot be moved in a world where most are desperate to fit in, to be liked, to conform. The one who stands firm in their own self-worth holds the true power. Consider a scenario where someone criticizes you unfairly. The weak-minded immediately react, defending themselves, over-explaining, or retaliating. The strong, however, remain calm. They understand that words only have power if they allow them to. By not reacting, maintain control, not just of the situation, but of themselves, and that self-respect it commands, more respect than any outburst ever could. The same principle applies to success. Those who achieve greatness are not those who waste their energy on trivial concerns. They are laser-focused on their goals, refusing to be distracted by petty dramas or external judgments. They operate with clarity, knowing that every moment spent worrying about irrelevant things is a moment stolen from their progress. So, how do you cultivate this level of indifference? Start by evaluating your reactions the next time you feel anger, frustration, or anxiety rising over something minor. Pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? More often than not, the answer will be no. Train yourself to let go of what does not serve you. Another powerful practice is setting clear priorities. Define what truly matters in your life, your purpose, your growth, your peace of mind. When you have a strong foundation of self-worth, the opinions and judgments of others lose their grip on you. You become untouchable, not because you don't care about anything, but because you care deeply about the right things. This is the secret that most never realize. True power lies not in seeking approval, but in being unmoved by rejection. It is found in the ability to walk away from what drains you, to rise above petty conflicts, and to remain focused in a world full of distraction. In the end, it is not about caring less. It is about caring wisely. It is about choosing where to direct your energy. and refusing to waste it on what does not deserve your attention. Because when you master the art of indifference, you don't just survive, you thrive. And in a world where everyone is overly concerned with pleasing others, the one who stands firm in their own self-worth will always rise above the rest. Or stop seeking approval. Seeking approval is a trap. It places your happiness in the hands of others, making you dependent on their validation. The reality? No one's opinion of you should outweigh your own. The moment you give someone else the power to define your worth, you lose control over your own life. True confidence isn't given. It's built through self-reliance, through knowing that you don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. Think about the most magnetic individuals you've ever encountered. They don't beg for approval. They don't shrink themselves to fit in. They own who they are, flaws and all. And that's what makes them powerful. They lies in their unwavering sense of self. While others chase validation, they walk their own path, unapologetically and with purpose. The need for approval is rooted in fear. Fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of standing alone. But here's the truth. The more you seek approval, the more you surrender your power. You become a prisoner of expectations, bending and twisting yourself to fit into molds designed by others. And in doing so, betray yourself. Freedom comes when you release the need to be liked by everyone. It's an illusion to think that universal approval is even possible. No matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. Some will admire you, others will criticize you, and many won't care at all. So why waste your energy trying to please everyone? Consider the people who change the world. Leaders, innovators, creators. They are not concerned with fitting in. They are driven by vision, by purpose, by the fire within them. They face criticism, yet they remain unfaced. Their confidence is built on something far stronger than public opinion. It is built on self-belief, and that is what makes them unstoppable. If you want to break free from the approval trap, start by asking yourself, whose opinion truly matters? More often than not, the loudest voices are from those who do not walk your path, who do not understand your journey. Their words carry no real weight unless you allow them to. Another crucial step is learning to validate yourself. Acknowledge your own progress. Celebrate your wins, big or small. When you start recognizing your own worth, external approval becomes irrelevant. You no longer need applause to feel worthy. You simply know. You are detaching from validation does not mean becoming arrogant or dismissive. It means standing firm in who you are. It means respecting your own decisions, your own journey, and refusing to let others dictate your path. It means understanding that your value is not something to be negotiated or debated. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you start living freely. You no longer filter your words, your actions, or your dreams through the lens of others' expectations. You move through life with authenticity, with boldness, with a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will support you, and that's okay. The ones who matter will respect you, not because you seek their approval, but because you don't need it. So choose yourself. Stand firm in your beliefs, in your values, in your vision. Let go of the need for external validation and embrace the power of self-acceptance. Because once you do, you become untouchable. Not because you have everyone's approval, but because you no longer require it. Five-handed criticism. Criticism is inevitable, but how you handle it defines your strength. Most people crumble at the first sign of disapproval. They take every comment to heart, allowing it to shape their self-identity, dictate their actions, and weaken their resolve. But why? Criticism is nothing more than words, opinions, and perspectives that often come from those who don't even understand your journey. The reality is that criticism only has as much power as you give it. When you react emotionally, you let it control you. When you filter it through logic, you remain in control. The strongest individuals don't let criticism shake them. They assess it with a clear mind, take what's useful, and discard the rest. No unnecessary emotion, no overreaction. Just select attention to what truly matters. The key lesson: filter criticism through logic, not emotion. Keep what serves you, ignore what doesn't, and never let someone's opinion disrupt your peace. There are two types of criticism: constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is valuable. It helps you improve. It comes from people who have experience, knowledge, and a genuine desire to see you grow. This is the type of feedback you should welcome. Destructive criticism, however, is designed to break you down. It often stems from jealousy, insecurity, or lack of understanding. These opinions are meaningless unless you make the mistake of internalizing them. Imagine a sculptor working on a masterpiece. As he chisels away, people stop to watch. Some admire his work. Some offer helpful suggestions, and others mock his efforts. Does the sculptor abandon his vision because of a few negative voices? No. He continues, guided by his inner vision, filtering out the noise. This is how you must approach criticism. When someone criticizes you, ask yourself, does this person have the experience or credibility to judge me? If they do, consider their words. If they don't, move on. Not all voices deserve your attention. Most criticism comes from people who have never done what you are doing. Their words are reflections of their own limitations, not yours. Criticism is a test of emotional resilience. Weak-minded individuals react impulsively. They get defensive, argue, or retreat into self-doubt. The strong remain unmoved. They acknowledge criticism, process it, but never let it disrupt their inner peace. When you respond to criticism with calm indifference, you show the world that your confidence is unshakable. Consider the great minds of history, visionaries, creators, and leaders. Every one of them faced relentless criticism. Their ideas were doubted, their decisions questioned, yet they pressed forward, refusing to let outside noise deter them. Their ability to stand firm in the face of doubt is what sets them apart. They understood that criticism is often the price of progress. If you want to develop this mindset, practice detachment. The next time someone criticizes you, pause. Don't react immediately. Instead, analyze. Is there value in their words? If yes, learn from it. If not, dismiss it. When you master this habit, you...
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention, because the quietness keeping you awake at night holds a deeper truth
that words cannot express. There are times when a person does not speak their mind with clear sentences, but shows it plainly through mixed feelings, sudden pushback, and repeated returns. Experts like Carl Jung suggest we must focus not on spoken words, but on the patterns that lie underneath them in the quiet shadows. If you have been wondering why they move away and then return, seeming cold and then suddenly warm, listen closely right now. The answer isn't missing. It is staying hidden inside the very mixed signals and opposing behaviors that leave you looking for answers. Your special person is trying very hard to communicate a chaotic truth to you in their own unique way. Even if they never offer an apology, they are not as peaceful as they look, not as distant as they pretend to be, and certainly not as untouched as they want everyone to think. Something deep inside them remains busy, uneasy, and deeply touched by this connection, awakened after a very long time. When someone finds it too hard to face the truth straight on, it starts leaking out through their hesitation and uncertainty. It surfaces in their dreams at night and in their quiet need to check on your life. Keeping emotional space, yet never truly walking away. If this message about hidden truths is resonating with you, hit like so others can find it. One of the most important lessons from psychology teaches us that the conscious mind is good at hiding things, but the deeper unconscious is completely honest. A person might say they do not care at all, while their everyday choices and opposing actions tell a completely different story. Someone may claim they have moved on fully, while their thoughts keep circling back quietly every single night without fail. Do not focus only on the short message they sent last time, because people reveal their true selves in the feelings they cannot. Simply release. Listen to the deeper part of us that understands, because the truth is waiting to be noticed right in front of you. The person might insist they do not miss you at all, but that does not mean the truth has disappeared completely. They are simply fighting against it inside themselves. This inner resistance serves as the first real proof that you carry real importance. Because why would anyone struggle so hard against something that truly meant nothing? Why would someone who genuinely did not care feel the need to show their lack of interest, explain their absence, or protect their distance so carefully? People guard themselves most strongly against emotions that challenge their sense of control, waking up old fears they have not yet healed. When reminded of what they desire and worry about losing, they pull back, grow quiet, and act as if silence gives them power. But quietness does not remove the emotions at all. It only covers them up for some time, until they surface again, which is exactly why they are attempting to share a hidden message. You matter to me more than I am prepared to accept right now. An idea that feels heavy for a proud spirit and scary for a heart hurt before. This truth causes them to act in very mixed ways, as one side wants to move closer naturally, while another side moves far away for protection. One part remembers the comfort, deep connection, safety, and warmth, while another recalls the risks, openness, and the chance of being truly seen without any walls. When those different sides come together, they become split within their own mind and heart, no longer speaking with one clear voice, but with two opposing ones instead. One voice encourages them to return, reconnect, and share the honest truth, while the other warns them to remain quiet, stay protected, and keep things hidden away safely. This ongoing internal battle takes a lot of energy and leaves them tired, creating a behavior on the outside that will nearly always cause confusion. But confusion does not point to a lack of interest. It comes from being overwhelmed by strong emotions they do not know how to manage. Sometimes the person who creates the most confusion is actually the one who feels things most deeply and understands the least. Consider that idea with care, because when someone lacks the right words for their inner emotions, they show them through uneven behavior. They move closer and then pull away, starting contact only to step back when the connection feels deep, sharing just enough to stay alive while avoiding exposure. This pattern is not meant to cause pain or show cruelty. It is fear hiding behind a mask, old pain performing, and a heart that has not learned to stand openly. Carl Jung understood that whatever we refuse to face does not disappear, but grows stronger in the unconscious mind influencing choices and repeating emotional patterns. That explains why they keep returning to you. The same incomplete emotions and a strong pull they cannot explain. They are returning to an old inner wound that still needs healing. If this explanation is opening your eyes right now, comment Jung below to show you are seeing the deeper patterns. So when your special person moves away from you, try not to assume right away that they have completely forgotten about you or the connection. When they remain quiet for long periods, do not automatically think that nothing at all is happening inside their mind and heart. When they behave in a distant manner, do not believe that their feelings have gone completely silent, because often the truth is quite the opposite of what it seems on the surface. The more meaningful and emotionally important the connection becomes, the more frightening it grows for someone who has not yet developed the inner strength needed to face it openly and honestly. Some individuals step away because they feel truly indifferent, but many others do so because they feel completely overwhelmed by the strength of their own emotions. Some people leave because they have finished with the relationship, but others leave because they remain unfinished and unsettled within their own hearts and minds. And people who feel unfinished inside often create connections that also stay incomplete in certain ways, sending mixed signals because different parts of them feel mixed up and uncertain. They offer moments of presence and then periods of absence in the very same interaction, making you feel specially chosen for a while and then suddenly left behind. They help you feel truly seen and then make you feel forgotten soon after, causing you to question your own value, when in reality they are actually questioning their own ability to love someone without losing control completely. Type resonate if you recognize this push and pull in your own life right now. They may not fully realize how strongly they have touched your heart and life, but they definitely know that something important inside them has also been touched and changed by you. That serves as the message they are trying so hard to communicate to you through their actions. Not by using smooth and polished language or neat explanations, but through behavior. Patterns that keep repeating themselves until you notice the emotional truth hidden underneath it all. They desire closeness with you, but that closeness creates fear inside them at the same time. They want to feel certain about things, but certainty requires them to be honest with themselves first. They long for real connection, but genuine connection asks for a certain kind of surrender and openness from them. They wish to be truly understood, but that requires showing parts of themselves they have hidden even from their own awareness for a long time. They remain caught in a difficult space between deep desire and self-protection, between powerful feelings and fears, and between what their heart wants and what they can safely handle. In this conflict, you become the question they cannot answer, the memory impossible to erase, and the emotion they cannot fully control, no matter how hard they try. This explains why your absence affects them even more deeply than your presence did, because distance creates the room for feelings they can no longer push aside with daily routines. If this part is hitting close to home, hit like so others can find this message too. When you are not around, their deeper mind gains the space to speak clearly, and the confident facade they built begins to crack as they realize they aren't nearly as protected as they pretended to be. The unconscious mind operates through a soft whisper rather than loud announcements returning as a repeating thought, an unexpected wave of longing, a heavy chest, or an unplanned urge to check on your life. The deeper mind follows its own timing, ignoring pride, surface confidence, and the demands of the ego, to ask one central question: what still remains unresolved between us and inside me? In many relationships, what stays unresolved is not an absence of love, but a profound fear of what genuine love actually requires from a person. True closeness asks for honesty, maturity, responsibility, and the bravery to be seen without masks, which feels far more terrifying to them than losing the connection altogether. They prefer to handle their pain from a safe distance rather than face the softness and vulnerability that true intimacy demands. They would rather keep the connection in a gray, unclear state than risk showing the tender, sensitive, and still healing parts of themselves openly to you. They circle the relationship from the edges, coming close for a while before moving back, reaching out and pulling away, trying to communicate a truth they lack the strength to say out loud. Comment mixed if you have experienced these confusing signals yourself. Their actions are a quiet confession that they are not completely in charge of these feelings inside them, and that reality scares them more than they can express right now. They desire your closeness, but fear it simultaneously, longing for a genuine connection while running from the surrender and openness it requires. Do not mistake their silence for indifference, because their repeated behavior patterns show a heart caught in an intense inner battle, waiting for the emotional truth to finally be noticed. They believe love must always be loud, obvious, and perfect, but sometimes it exists as a wounded, scared, and developing energy, working hard to survive inside a person who has not learned how to care for it properly. Love frequently expresses itself through hesitation, avoidance, and stepping back, looking exactly like someone who cannot stay away, but cannot allow themselves to come fully close either. It hides inside a pattern of returning because the heart keeps searching for its way back to something the thinking mind cannot easily name. When your special person continues to return through thoughts, nighttime dreams, or emotional reminders, it is their deeper self showing that the connection did not end where the surface self wanted it to finish. Do not mistake periods of quiet as complete emptiness, or distance as total disappearance from their mind. Share this with someone who needs to hear it if these words describe your situation. Do not mistake a show of pride for genuine inner peace, because people can look entirely calm while struggling deeply, appearing cold, while experiencing strong feelings and profound inner conflicts. Perhaps your special person is not trying to tell you they feel nothing, but rather that caring so much has become their greatest challenge, awakening something deeper than they ever expected. They are showing you that you reached a protected, closed-off place within them, making it impossible to keep pretending they are untouched and unaffected. Certain people construct their entire lives around staying in control, convincing themselves that remaining guarded and detached will keep them safe from harm and disappointment. But life has its own unique way of testing those protective walls we build. When a meaningful bond forms, those old walls start to show cracks, causing them to feel too much, want too deeply, and fear too strongly all at once. Once their familiar defenses are threatened, their entire inner system feels unsteady, explaining why they seem so inconsistent in how they behave toward you. They are not playing shallow games. What looks like a game is actually a form of emotional survival as they try to survive the strength of their own deep reactions. They are caught in an intense battle between the safety of their isolation and the powerful pull of your connection, communicating their struggle through every mixed signal. Type yes if you want more insights into these hidden patterns. Listen to the truth hidden underneath the patterns, because their ongoing conflict proves you still hold a powerful place in their heart. Sometimes they do not know how to be honest without feeling too exposed, how to be close without losing their identity, or how to love without waking up old emotional injuries. Yet, if a feeling carries enough power to disturb someone's inner peace and daily life, it also carries enough importance to require their full attention and honesty eventually. The deeper mind always looks for completeness, and relationships serve as the main stage where our conscious thoughts and unconscious feelings work toward integration. Your connection has placed them directly in front of their own inner divisions, where the past demands safety, while the deeper self longs for truth and growth. That inner battle creates a silence where they hope time will fix things. But time only brings hidden matters forward, so they can no longer be ignored. And if you have waited long enough through these patterns, you may already be noticing the slow revelation happening. You might see it in the repeated looks they give, in the chances they let pass by, in the messages that arrive much later than expected, in the apologies that come in broken pieces, in the indirect ways they mention your name, in how they keep a small space open for you, even while acting as if they have fully moved forward with their life, in the ways they cannot completely let go of what they also cannot fully admit to themselves yet. What exact message are they trying to share with you through all of this? They are attempting to tell you that the connection remains alive and active inside them still. They want you to know that the story between you has not closed as neatly as they try to pretend on the surface. They are showing you that your influence reached much deeper into them than they ever thought possible. They are communicating that some part of them continues to listen, to remember details, and to respond emotionally even now. They are trying to express that their heart has not accepted the final ending that their surface self keeps attempting to create and maintain. If this is making you see things differently, comment awakened below. And maybe the hardest truth to accept in all of this is the following idea. They may not be prepared to take action yet, but they have definitely been touched and changed by you. They may not be ready to speak openly, but their inner world is not quiet at all. They may not be able to return in the exact way you hope for, but they have not freed themselves from the strong pull you created in their life. So, what should you do now that you understand more about the situation? You choose not to chase after false hopes or unclear signals. You refuse to beg for clear answers from someone who seems committed to staying in confusion for now. You do not make yourself smaller just to fit inside their current fears and limitations. You avoid mixing up emotional ups and downs with real long-term commitment. You stop measuring how valuable you are based on another person's current readiness to love properly. Instead, you look at the situation with honest eyes and accept what truly exists. You respect the fact that some people experience deep feelings, but do not yet possess the inner tools or strength to express those feelings well. You remember that another person's ongoing inner struggles do not define who you are as a person. Their difficulty with speaking clearly does not prove that you never mattered to them at all. Their periods of silence do not have the final say about your worth or importance. Their mixed actions do not measure how lovable you truly are. Their confusion and uncertainty do not represent any kind of failure on your part. That understanding serves as one of the most liberating realizations anyone can reach in human relationships. Not every person who feels love for you will automatically know the best way to show that love in healthy and consistent ways. Not everyone who experiences strong emotions will understand how to manage them responsibly. Not every person who comes back is fully prepared to stay and build something real. Not everyone who misses you will find the courage to tell you directly. Not everyone who thinks about you will have the personal discipline to show up with honesty and integrity. And not everyone who feels torn inside can provide you with peace and stability on the outside. Therefore, you must develop the ability to listen carefully to what exists below the surface level of words and actions. Pay attention to the repeating patterns that show up again and again. Notice what continues to happen when spoken words are no longer present. Observe the emotional traces and effects they leave behind in your life. Notice how your own body and feelings respond when thoughts of them appear. Listen closely to the deeper message that lives underneath all the surface noise and confusion. Because sometimes the wiser part of us understands the truth long before our thinking mind catches up to it fully. Sometimes your own sense of peace notices their emotional unsteadiness much earlier than your hopeful side is willing to release the connection. Sometimes your deeper intuition hears messages that their spoken words never manage to express clearly. And sometimes the kindest and most loving choice you can make involves not forcing someone to confess everything, but simply recognizing the truth that has already been speaking through small pieces and patterns for some time now. Your special person is working hard to communicate this important reality to you. They were changed by the connection. They were moved deeply inside. They were shaken awake in certain ways. They were faced with new truths about themselves. They were shown parts of their inner world they may have avoided for many years. And because of that experience, your presence now lives in a much deeper place than regular everyday memories usually occupy. It has moved beyond simple affection or physical attraction alone. It has grown past just missing another person when they are gone. It now involves the powerful meeting with their own deeper self that happened because they met you and connected with you. That explains why certain people never leave our lives in the simple, clean way we might expect them to. They stay not only in our hearts, but also in the deeper structure of our inner landscape, shaping how we see things. They turn into important reference points, lasting lessons, emotional wounds that teach us, and clear mirrors reflecting our true selves. A mirror can be appreciated, feared, pushed away, or even rejected, and yet it continues to show the reflection honestly. Once a person has truly seen themselves through their connection with someone else, they can never go back to complete unawareness about their own feelings and needs. So let their complicated behavior and patterns serve as a reminder of this final, lasting truth. Whatever carries real substance, depth will not disappear simply because it proved difficult to name or accept openly. Whatever holds genuine meaning will keep pushing against the surface until it receives proper attention or goes through necessary change and growth. Whatever stays hidden will continue searching for ways to express itself somehow. And whatever remains unfinished will keep asking for resolution and care over time. This understanding shows why periods of silence never stay completely neutral, why distance does not mean true separation has occurred, and why a person's patterns communicate much more clearly than their spoken words ever manage to do. The heart continues sending messages all the time, whether we notice them or not. The real question becomes whether a person possesses enough courage to listen carefully to those messages when they arrive. Your special person is doing their best in their own imperfect, scared, and human manner to let you know that they have not finished dealing with these feelings or processing the meaning of what happened. They have not resolved their internal struggles completely, and they have not moved past the memory of you, the strong impact you made, or what you awakened within them. Even if they never say these things, using plain and direct language, you now see the deeper pattern clearly, understanding that not all forms of love arrive wrapped in complete certainty and confidence. Sometimes the most important messages arrive wrapped in confusion, showing themselves through stepping back, creating distance, or returning after time apart. When you understand this reality, you stop waiting for clear words to save you from what behavior has already shown plainly. You stand firmly in your own awareness, seeing the situation with greater clarity and allowing the existing truth to be sufficient. That truth lives inside repeating patterns, moments of hesitation, and a strong pull that neither of you can completely deny or ignore any longer. It remains in the emotional after effects that linger after conversations have ended, appearing in the way your thoughts return to them just as often as you return to theirs. The central truth comes down to this realization that your special person is trying to communicate that what they feel carries real substance and depth. Their fears are genuine and powerful, and the things they find hardest to say represent the most meaningful part of the entire situation. Do not overlook the meaning held in their silence. Push aside their mixed signals or ignore the deeper language the heart uses when words fail. When a person cannot say directly that they need you, they express it through every unfinished return they make. When they cannot admit you matter, they show it through emotional hesitation, pulling away exactly when the bond starts to feel truly real and close. They spend months demonstrating they have not moved on through the only ways they currently know how to express it. The deeper self always leaves behind small clues. The heart creates visible traces, and the unconscious discovers a path to communicate what matters most. Your responsibility is not to pull the truth out of them by force, but to recognize it clearly when it appears, dressed in silence, distance, longing, and inner contradictions. That represents the complete message they have been sending, the pattern worth noticing and understanding all along. Once you truly hear and accept it, you will never again interpret emotional silence in quite the same limited way as before. Like this video.